to the Most High God Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. You got that article for me? Okay. Yeah. Basically, right now we're on the campus of Mira Costa College here in Oceanside, California. I believe it was yesterday or sometime this week, there was a actual hate crime, quote unquote, that took place here on campus, directed towards the Black Student Union. And according to the Black Student Union, this wasn't the first time something of this nature has occurred, though the faculty denies that, and the faculty of the college is actually basically saying that in all their tenure, their 30, 20 plus years of working here at the school, that this school has never had a race issue, but the actual Black student body and the Hispanic student body is telling a much different story. So I want to kind of get into the story at the scene of the crime and read some scriptures to go along with it. So you got that? Go ahead, bring it out.
This is the article that the brother just spoke on.
And it's via the San Diego Reader, right? Go ahead.
Early arrivals to Mira Costa College Oceanside campus Monday morning, November 30th, 2015.
So this past Monday. Go ahead.
Discovered graffiti slurring Mira Costa's African American community.
So it was graffiti that was slurring the African American community. Now you're going to see that within the course of this article, the faculty says that they're not going to dignify the statement, so they're not going to release what was said. Now another brother that's in the camp actually personally knows somebody who is a witness to it actually happening, and basically what they said was written was "Black lives don't matter, nigga." That was what was written. All right, but go ahead.
Hateful words were spray painted on the windows of the school's student center, where the Black Student Union is located.
Go ahead.
This act sadly demonstrates that our campus is not immune to the unrest experienced nationally on college and university campuses.
And it's not just on college and university campuses, it's in every aspect of life. Racism is being experienced by the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, who are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. This is the place of our oppression. This is undeniable. We can't sit here and say that this country has changed or it's not as racist as it once was. We actually, the same brother who knows the person who witnessed this, he actually said he talked about this story to an older brother who was from down south. And that brother from down south said it was worse than when he went to college, because he said he didn't even experience anything of that magnitude during his time in college down south, right? Wow. So it's the 60s all over again, and in a way it's more amplified because we have these social media. You have those two crackers that just went and shot up that protest, and they were called the new word for us is dindus, right? For black people, dindu meaning we didn't do shit. All these things keep happening to us, and we didn't do shit. And they actually went and shot us up. And these people are racist, and they're mobilizing. They hate us, which of course they hate us. Their forefather hated us. Esau, he hated his brother Jacob. Our forefather. But they're organizing and mobilizing in greater numbers through the internet. You see what I'm saying? So and they actually are taking up arms and actually acting out their hate upon us. People talk about, oh, you guys hate white people, da da da. We have adverse feelings, and yes, we do hate the white man because God hates them, moreover. But they are actually acting out the hate that they have on us through arming up, defaming black institutions, shooting us, attacking us, the police killing us on this regular basis. So don't complain about us hating the white man. Why don't you complain about the white man hating and murdering you, all right, and showing you how much he truly hates you. But go ahead.
Brittany Means of the Mira Costa's Black Student Union says, the bigger problem is that this is not an isolated incident.
She said this is not an isolated incident. Now, the faculty and the staff here on campus is playing it as if it's an isolated incident. But the black students are disagreeing with that and are telling the truth, that the fact that this happens all the time on this campus. People act like this is something that just happens down south. No, we're here in California where everybody's supposed to be easygoing and all this madness, and guess what? They still hate us. Go ahead.
She feels the administration has covered up previous racial slurs.
The administration is actively covering up other racial slurs and racial attacks that have occurred, right? Read on.
They have kept everything under wraps, says the Means.
And that's what white people do. They commit crimes and then they cover it up for one another. All right, read on.
They have swept everything under the rug.
Go ahead.
She said a Black Lives Matter celebration in September was met with a negative comment.
So this was back in September, right? It was met with negative comments. Read.
And one student wearing a Cops Lives Matter cap.
So Esau comes up to school, the so-called white student comes to school with Cops Lives Matter, right? And Cops Lives Matter is basically a slap in the face to all the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people that have been murdered by cops.
That's right.
They're saying, no, those nigger and spick and salmon slapper, teepee creepers' lives do not matter. The lives of those cops who felt endangered allegedly matter. Right? I just seen a video just yesterday in San Francisco. A young brother was murdered, and he wasn't doing anything but walking. He was walking, and they shot him for walking. You see what I'm saying? The same thing occurred up in Seattle with the so-called Native American brother was shot for walking across the street. So this happens to us all the time. Trayvon Martin was murdered for walking from 7-Eleven with Arizona and Skittles. So what that statement is, when the crackers show up with a cop's lives matter, what he's saying is no, those people who were murdered, their lives didn't matter. What mattered is those law enforcement officers, all right, that do nothing but terrorize us, all right, and are the sons of the Night Riders and the KKKs, and are actually members of these organizations as it is this day. Well, go ahead.
Means pointed out a website by fellow student Isaac Velasquez, who posted a September 9th video showing.
So the Hispanic brother posted this and actually broke the story on how racism was and a Black Lives Matter celebration was being attacked. Right, Reed?
Showing chalk drawings that were created for the Black Lives Matter movement.
So in order to mock the Black Lives Matter celebration, you have some devil students, some so-called white students that came with chalk and drew stereotypes and racially offensive pictures on the ground, right? Read on.
He points out that the man depicted in the drawing was later redrawn, embellished with a drug hat.
A drug hat, which I don't even know what that is. I was reading that trying to figure out what it is. A drug hat, I don't know, right? but go ahead.
Watermelon.
Watermelon, read.
A shank.
Now, a watermelon and a shank, talking about a knife, but a watermelon, when you do the history of the watermelon, Thomas Edison was making them postcards back in the day, and of like pictures of black people eating watermelon, and we're putting the postcards all the way around to be a big joke around, white households. You see what I'm saying? So a watermelon and a shank. So we always have a weapon, right? Even though you are killing us with guns, and you have been killing us and killing our brothers of Hispanic and Native Indian persuasion, right? With damn guns, right? With the damn Gatling gun, you mowed down the Native Indian and stole his damn land in the first place, right? But we are demonized for holding a damn shank or they'll call a broken beer bottle a nigger knife. You see what I'm saying? And stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead,
Here it says should have run a shank and a bottle of malt liquor.
A bottle of malt liquor. Read.
Here it says should have run.
Should have run. So you should have run instead of allowing that white cop to murder you. That's what they're saying. So these white people, I don't give a damn who it is. People try to act like it's some classism going on. Oh no, it's the rich versus the poor. If he goes to this college, he's not rich. This is not a place where rich people tend to go. Rich people send their kids to university, okay? This is a damn community college in Oceanside, California, all right? Let's be honest here. So what's happening is he's saying should have run. These white people do not care and do not regard the life of the black or Hispanic, and this should not come as an alarm or a shock to anybody. And the reason is because let's think about our first encounters with them. Getting put in slavery, getting thrown off of ships and fed to sharks, getting our children fed to alligators, them coming and storming the shores of this continent and raping, robbing, and murdering the indigenous people and forcing them into Catholicism and things like that. So this should all come to no shock. A lot of people are shocked and they're appalled when they read this, but to us this is not shocking or appalling because we identify him and see him for who he truly is. We don't wait for him to show his horns, we see his horns, all right? Every white person got a devil's haircut, all right? And anybody who was familiar with the song that rock band made back in the day, I got a devil's haircut in my mind. That's all of these people, right? But those with the eye salve, those who see what's really going on, can see that off top. But you still got Negroes talking about there's good white people out there. No, there's not. They are the devil. We have to come to grips with that because the moment you don't is the moment they put a dagger into your back.
That's right. Okay,
as soon as you leave the room, please believe you're the nigga, all right? And then sometimes not even when you leave the room. Now you might be in the room and they call you the nigger and they try to, you know what I'm saying? That's what they'll do.
Joke about it,
right?
Matter of fact.
And then they get mad when they get beat up. Now you the monster, big pit bull off a chain. Go ahead, King.
And just the testimony, to what the brothers are speaking on. I go into a Christian church and all around me is a so-called white man, and they invite me to their houses and stuff, and here they are talking about black jokes right in front of me, as though I'm not there. And that when I do kind of bring attention to them, like, what are you saying? Now all of a sudden it's a joke.
No,
you know
it's
what
just
I'm
a
saying?
joke, man.
But if you know anything about comedy, there's always a little bit of truth into all these jokes.
Yeah.
Even when we joke amongst each other.
That's
it's
what
like,
what makes it funny is the truth to it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be funny if there was no truth to it.
You don't tell a dude he got a big old head and he don't. You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when we was little kids, if somebody called your mama a crackhead, you would get mad. Why? Because your mama is a crackhead. If she wasn't, you wouldn't. Whatever. My mama's a crackhead.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. But you get so mad because they're actually talking about something that's true. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you get mad about it, because that's what makes a joke a joke. If you tell somebody, "Oh man, you pale as hell," but they're not pale, what does that mean? That it doesn't apply if the shoe fits, wear it. So when you crack on somebody, it's gotta fit. You see what I'm saying? So go ahead, though.
And let's go ahead. It says, so he should have run if he didn't want to get shot. So we gotta flee. We gotta flee. Every time these crackers come around in our area, we gotta be beating feet.
And a lot of brothers do, man. I remember like when I was young, man. You get out of there. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they did. And a lot of people don't understand why'd you run? Police, why'd you run? Because I'm worried about you gunning me down. That's why I ran.
That's right.
Right? But now when we're trying to be compliant and we still get murdered, now we should have ran, right? That's how little regard that the white man has for our lives, all right? And that's all right. He don't have to regard our lives. But what we have to stop doing is looking for his love, looking for his acceptance, and we have to stop regarding his life and getting behind their things. You see what I'm saying? And actually caring about them. That's the lesson that our people need to constantly learn, because the Most High is constantly showing us with example after example of the little regard that these demons have for our lives.
That's right.
Period. Go ahead.
And Mean says she does not. She does think the spray painted slurs was a solo act.
You see that? They think it's a solo act. The administration. Read.
She says, I would say it's a much larger part of the student body than just one person, to be honest with you.
A much larger part. Read.
I don't feel safe on the campus.
Black students don't feel safe on the campus. This sister is saying that she does not feel safe on this campus because racism is so affluent. It's a regular higher learning over here. You know what I'm saying? Higher goddamn learning over here. That's what I might call this video. Higher learning. You know? And is anybody going to go to any extra lengths to ensure the safety of the black student body, Hispanic student body? No, they're not. They're not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? You know why? Because black lives simply do not matter. All right? Not to them. But I'm going to tell you right now that black lives do matter to the only person who matters, which is the Most High God, Yahweh. All right? And he is going to hold everybody who has shed the blood of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, his chosen people, accountable for it, man, and punish them for it. Right? But go ahead.
Rita Sosa, a business administration professor, who is the Mira Costa College's acting communications director, says the school is not disclosing what the spray-painted words were.
They're not disclosing it, but like I said, the brother already got the inside scoop on what it said. Black lives don't matter, nigga, right? Go ahead.
We have chosen not to dignify the slurs, said Sosa. She says that in an emergency meeting Monday about the incident, a veteran administrator said this was the only act of its kind he can remember.
And so he said it's the only act of its kind, as if what happened 2 months ago in September never happened, right? Go ahead.
He said we never had anything like this in his 30 years.
That's very typical. All right, well, we don't have a problem with racism here. I remember, Salakia, I remember a couple years ago, an incident occurred, and the brother said, it was some skinheads who were responsible for it. A guy we know said that. And the police looked at him and said, we don't have a problem with skinheads in this city. It happened here in Oceanside, right? But he tells him that when just the week before that, me and the brother Hakah, which is now up in Seattle, Deacon Hakah, had actually gotten into a physical altercation with skinheads a week before the police said we do not have a problem with these individuals, or they are not active in our city.
Yeah. Right?
That's a typical answer. White people look out for it and cover the crimes of other white people as much as they possibly can. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll be like, you know what, you done messed up so bad, there's really nothing we can do for you at this point. I.e. Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan is getting demonized and everybody's keeping their hands off him. They're trying to erase him from the history of WWE, even though he's the most affluent star in that company's history, right? They're trying to erase him. Eventually, of course, they'll let him come back around after enough time has passed, just like with Paula Deen, right? Yeah. But we see this sometimes. For the most part, these white people, they get protected. They protect and they take care of their own. We need to start taking care of our own. That's our problem, right? But go ahead.
Other than that, we haven't heard of any racially connected problems, Souza says.
In 30 years, there's been no issue of racism whatsoever on this campus. You got to be out of your damn mind. Go ahead.
We do everything we can to keep people safe and informed. Minus being informed. You know? We are very transparent. Minus being transparent.
And that's the problem. Like, transparency is something that we do not see in this country when it matters for us. We do not see any form of transparency, right? But go ahead.
Koch asked students to notify campus police at any further demonstrations of bigotry and other hateful acts, and to use the red emergency button on any campus phone. Souza added that a safe room has been set up on campus on Tuesday for any student who might feel uncomfortable to come in and speak with experienced counselors about the crime. She said Cook was organizing activities with the student leadership to increase understanding. Souza says there have been no leads on the perpetrator. There are no cameras on campus.
You see, there's no cameras on campus and there's no lead on the perpetrator, meaning he's going to get away scot-free with doing what he did. Especially if he acted alone, who's going to tell on him? You see what I'm saying? But see, this is the problem we have. And then when you look back at the Dylan Storm Roof, let's take a look back at Dylan Storm Roof. You had that black student, a black friend of his, even though he was racist and he hated black people. You had a black friend of his that didn't view him as racist and still didn't see a problem with him, though he had murdered 9 of his brothers and sisters. But then you had a white student that say, yeah, man, they wanted to disown him. Yeah, he always had problems. But here you go, the black student is so just loving, man, and that's our problem, because we continually love this damn devil, and we don't want to see him for who he is, and then we get taken advantage of, like what happened to the Charleston 9. Meanwhile, his own family members and friends who are white even wrote him off, man. You gotta his uncle was like, I wish I could have killed him for doing that.
Oh yeah, Dylan Roof.
Dylan Roof.
Yeah, let me get that.
Yeah, let me do it. You see what I'm saying?
You know?
So, our people, man, you got to stop being so naive, man, and so ignorant, man. And stuff like this is happening more and more and more for the purpose of making you attentive to it and waking you up to what's going on, man. All right? And for you to stop having so much love. Stop saying being pro-black isn't anti-white. You cannot be pro-good and pro-bad, or pro-good and neutral to bad. When two things are opposites, if you're pro-one and anti the other, I mean, being pro-one automatically means you're anti the other. Anything else means put you in a neutral ground. All right? So you're not actually being pro-black. All right? If you're not standing up to the people who have been raping, robbing, and murdering and oppressing those that are black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, the Israelites. You got the precept?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Just want to add real quick for the brothers, you know, the docile ones especially. You know, there's a reason why a lot of us brothers out here carrying shanks, carrying guns, all these things. Look at what's been happening to us since we got off that shit.
That's right.
And we bringing it out. We showing you. And for you to have any disposition about this, you should really think about that, because that's turning the wicked out towards your brother, really.
That's right.
You know, and that's strictly hatred. Yeah, because you're supposed to be building your own families and then concerned about building other brothers' families, not going outside of your own nation, worrying about what they doing. Meanwhile, you know, you ain't even in control of your own house, so consider that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these scriptures.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28.
28:37.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
We're a proverb and a byword. That's why we're being called nigger. We being mocked with watermelon, shanks, shoulda ran, all that various things. We are being mocked right now. We are proverbs and we are bywords, right? Read on.
Among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
They make us into the butt of every joke, even when we die, right? And then they get mad when you don't want to pray for Paris, right? But they're not praying for you. They're not praying for the projects, right? Read on.
Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field.
So like that's on 37? That's all I need on that. Go to the next one.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. 7:7.
Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression make a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, man. If you wise and you are sitting here taking a look at this oppression, it'll make you go crazy and it'll anger you deeply. Why? Because you're being oppressed. Be wise. Really sit back and analyze the world as you know it and how it's treated you and how it's treated your people. Don't even take it so personally, because everybody hasn't had a bad, oppressive life just because, by virtue of the fact that you're black and Hispanic. But take a look at your own people, man. Take a look at how this world has treated your people. Stop being so goddamn selfish and look at those who have lineage and patrilineage in common with you, and truly understand that they have given us nothing but hell for half a millennium.
That's right.
Once you come into that understanding, it should piss you off. Why? Because nothing but oppression is what our people have seen. Go ahead.
And the gift destroyeth the heart.
Gift destroys hearts. So the gifts that this world has given certain of our people destroys their heart, meaning pollutes and perverts your judgment. And that's why you think all white people ain't bad. That's why you want to say you're pro-black but not anti-white. Because certain gifts or something has happened to you positive and it's came to you from them, so your judgment is perverted and now you think they're good or some of them are good. No, you need to be honest with yourself, man, and honest with history, honest with reality, man, and really see them for what they are, the devil that the Bible speaks of. That wasn't on that?
Con.
Okay, next one. I want to
This
say
is
Zechariah 8 and 13.
Zechariah 8 and 13. Zechariah chapter 8 verse 13. And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen.
See, we're a curse right now amongst these people. That's why they could ridicule us. That's why they could mock us. That's why they could murder us. Because right now we're a curse for the forsaking of the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. We're accursed as a people, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. But go ahead.
O house of Judah,
and
the house of Israel.
House of Judah would be you Negroes, West Indian, and Haitians. House of Israel would be you so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. Right? Go ahead.
So will I save you, and ye shall be blessing.
So the Most High is going to save us through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and turn all our curses into blessings. All right, so as much as we curse right now, it's going to be totally reversed. The curse is going to be reversed by the Most High God through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, right? So just take a look at all the hell that we're going through and understand that it's going to be turned the total opposite direction by the Most High soon. Read.
Ye shall be a blessing, fear not, but let your hands be strong.
Let your hands be strong, and that's what we have to do. We have to stop fearing these devils. We have to let our hands be strong and stand up and call our oppressors out, and also stand up manfully for the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Be zealous for the laws of the Most High, because how we're going to be saved is enough of us seeking righteousness and truly following these laws, statutes, and commandments, and having the faith in the Most High. That's how we're going to be saved. All right? The reason why we haven't been saved yet is because enough of us have not made a conscientious effort to be zealous toward the law, right? And having the true faith in these scriptures and actually understanding these scriptures properly, not how they've been distorted and tainted and repainted to us through a Christianity, which is the white man's establishment in the first place, man.
That's right.
Right.
Zechariah chapter 9 verse 13.
Read on.
When I have bent Judah before me.
See, this is what's getting ready to happen. The Most High is getting ready to bend Judah. Again, Judah is the black, so-called African-American, West Indian, and Haitian. Read.
Filled with the bow of Ephraim.
That would be your so-called Hispanics and Native Indians. See, as the Black Lives Matter movement rises, we also seeing other movements spread out, which is what? Brown Lives Matter and Native Lives Matter, which really that's all one movement because we are the Israelites. It's Israelite lives matter to the Most High God, right? So what's going to happen is as the black man gets riled up in this country, it's going to be a chain reaction, and the Hispanic and Native American man is going to rise up, right? Go ahead.
And raise up thy sons, O Zion.
Thy sons, O Zion, the Israelites. Raise up the Israelites. Read.
Against thy sons, O Greeks.
Who were the Greeks? The white man. So the Most High said He's going to raise us up against this white man. All right? A race war is coming in this country, and we can see these tensions boiling over with incidents like this. Read.
And made thee as the sword of a mighty man.
And the Most High God is going to turn us into a sword of a mighty man.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5 and 6. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
See, and that's what's going on. We should not be all messed up about these things happening. They have a perpetual, meaning an infinite hatred towards us. Read.
That's right. And has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
They shed our blood, man. They've been shedding our blood for half a millennium. That's not even going back deep into antiquity and what they was doing to us then. Let's just deal with the last 500 years. Right? Go ahead.
By the force of the sword.
By the force of the sword, whether it be the sword, whether it be the musket, whatever. The gun. Go ahead.
In the time of their calamity. In the time that their iniquity had an end.
Read on.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, O God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
He going to prepare thee unto blood. For all the shedding of our blood, the Most High is preparing the white man for blood. You know what that is? That's Black Lives Matter, that's Brown Lives Matter, that's Native Lives Matter, Israelite Lives Matter to the Most High. Why do they matter? Because we are His chosen. We are the apple of His eye. We are His people. We are His children. We are His princes. Read.
And blood shall pursue thee.
And blood is going to pursue this white man for all the blood that he shed of us. Thus saith the Most High God. Because again, our lives matter. Read.
Since thou has not hated blood.
The white man has no issue with shedding blood and murdering people. We see that, right? That's not hard to tell. Open a goddamn history book. Read.
Even blood shall pursue thee.
Since they have no problem with raping, robbing, and murdering the entire planet Earth, please believe it's coming all back to them. It will be recompensed into their bosom, as the scriptures say. That wasn't on that.
Con.
So with that, again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.